Journaling does not have to be difficult. If you are on a journey of self-discovery and if you have come across the word journaling, manifestation, practicing gratitude, and you have no idea where to start, do not fret, I am here to help. If you are new to my channel, hi, my name is Julia. I'm a 25-year-old wellness and beauty YouTuber. I have been journaling for over 5 years. I have used journaling to practice gratitude, to live a more mindful and happy life, and literally manifest my dream life. Before we start journaling, obviously we need something to write in. And yes, I do say write. My biggest and first piece of advice is write everything down. Do not use any sort of like mobile or app or anything like that. You need to be physically writing in a journal. It makes you remember better, and I also think it's a great way to just completely and physically dump out your emotions onto a blank piece of paper and close it up when you're done. Do you absolutely need a journal? No, you can use scrap pieces of paper if you want, but personally I love to hold on to my journals. I love to look back at them, and I have gotten quite picky with my journals over the years because I like to have something physical to hold on to. So first, I'm just going to say it, size matters. For me, I like a little bit of a bigger journal, but something that is still small enough that is going to fit in like a standard bag that you can bring with you. I know that for people who travel a lot, I have seen like compact versions of journals so they can bring them with them. And I also personally love something more structured, so when I bring it with me, I'm not too worried about it getting damaged. But to me, a journal should be something that you can take with you if you so please. Does it need to go everywhere with you? Absolutely not. But if you're going away for a vacation or anything like that, I still think it is important to bring those practices with you. So be mindful of where you're going to bring your journal. And I know this might be a hot take, but I do not prefer a guided journal. I think that they really confine you to a structure, and that can be great for like quick little journaling, but it doesn't give you the freedom to really write everything down. Your thoughts, your feelings, what have you. I have rambled on for pages in my journals, and I think a little tiny section where you're supposed to write a big statement or anything like that just isn't enough. And if you have no idea where to start, just check the description box below. I'll have a link to a couple of my favorite options, so that way if you have no idea where to start, hopefully one of those can kind of lead you on the right path. Now, before we can begin journaling, I just need to mention this because I think it's part of the reason that people fear journaling and the reason that people hold back when it comes to journaling. Get the thought out of your head that anyone else is going to read this. I don't believe that you can fully put out your emotions and be honest in a journal if you are worried someone is going to be looking over your shoulder at everything you write. I don't care if you need to lock it up or hide it or what have you. Over the years, I've let go of the fear because the journal is not for anyone else. It is for myself. I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be truthful, and I'm going to put everything that I need into these pages so that way it is not clouding my mind. And the other thing is, yes, of course, journaling is about releasing your emotions. So if you have been burying your emotions deep down, if you have been suppressing things, it is time to finally let them go and put them in a journal. So be okay and be comfortable with letting out your emotions, feeling what you need to feel, and then literally closing it up and walking away. Now that we have all of that out of the way, let's talk about what you're going to write. One that I have talked about on this channel many a times, if you've been here, you know, is practicing gratitude. Coming from a place personally where I was not happy in my life and only looking at all of the bad and all of the negative, I was comparing myself to others and constantly feeling a lack of in my life. Gratitude has given me such a fulfilling life, and the only thing that has changed is my perspective. And I know as soon as I say that, everyone's going to be like, but what do I have to be grateful for? And I know it's a weird practice to start doing, but you have to be comfortable being a little uncomfortable when journaling, because that's how you're going to grow. So when you start practicing gratitude in your journal, do not be afraid if it sounds cheesy. When you start practicing gratitude, you are going to be grateful for the most basic things because that's kind of where you start, and that's okay. If you say, I am grateful that I have shoes on my feet today, it's fine. Whatever makes you feel more grateful for your life, write that down. And you need to be specific. Be very specific about the things that you're grateful for. Be specific about what this thing is that makes your life better. If you have to get down to the little nitty-gritty details to get there, that's totally fine. But keeping it surface level is only going to do so much. Digging to that next layer and really reminding yourself why you were grateful for these things is going to be so much better for you. Every day, I want you to be at least writing down 3 things that you are grateful for. And start every sentence with, I am grateful for. Repeat it over and over again. Let your brain be reminded about being grateful for the life you have. Drill it into your brain until you really do feel grateful for the life you have. And it doesn't just have to be about the things around you or the opportunities you have. Be grateful for yourself too. Talk about how proud you are of moments in your life. Talk about how grateful you are that you got out of bed this morning and you put on your workout set and you went to a workout for the first time in a week, and you are so immensely proud of yourself and grateful for putting that time in. Just do not be your biggest hater. We have this internal voice inside of our head that is not always kind to ourselves. It can be our biggest hater. And my advice to you is please stop being your biggest hater. Be there to lift yourself up. Be the one who is the most proud of your accomplishments. That's things that you can be grateful for every single day. Now, manifestation is one of those hot topics right now that everybody is talking about. Manifest, manifest, manifest your dream life. But what does that really mean? How do you practice manifestation in your daily life? I know everyone has like this higher power of themselves, these big dreams, but they always kind of feel at an arm's length, you know, they feel distant. Manifestation is not only getting comfortable with the idea of these dreams, but it's bringing them closer to you so they become a reality. They are just your life now. Great practice for this that I have been doing forever now is an I am prompt. So let's say your goal is to be debt free. I want you every single morning to write this out 5 times. I am debt-free and financially stable. If your goal is to become a full-time content creator, I am a full-time content creator with an audience that loves me and loves what I have to say. Another manifestation prompt that I have just recently started doing is a thank you blank prompt. Now, this prompt is basically thanking whoever, the universe, if you have some sort of higher power to thank, whatever it is, for giving you your goals in dream life. For example, if you want to use the financially free, debt-free prompt, you would say, thank you, universe, for making me not only debt-free, but financially free. And you're not going to stop there. I want you to talk about what it would feel like for you to be at that point. When you are financially free and debt-free, what would that do for your life? Maybe it would open up more time because you don't need that second job. Maybe it would give you more comfortability and sustainability in your life. Maybe you would feel a lot less stressed. I want you to write out, I feel so much blah, 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 blah. I want you to not only get comfortable with the idea of getting these goals and aspirations, but the feeling of them. So you are surrounded by that feeling on your entire day. And I personally love to bring affirmations into my journal work, but I recently heard a practice for affirmations that kind of changed the game for me. Instead of just writing out an affirmation, I find mine personally on Pinterest. I want you to write out that affirmation, and then I want you to give a because I said so, because I am strong enough to do this. Because. Not only are you giving yourself an affirmation, or you can do it with a manifestation as well, but you are giving yourself a reason why. I am sure by now, if you have done a minimal amount of research about journaling, you know about check-ins. Yearly check-ins, monthly check-ins, weekly check-ins, and daily check-ins. These check-ins are kind of ways for you to not only take a moment to check in with yourself, with your mind, with your body, and see how you are feeling, but it also is a way to check in on where you are now, where you want to go with your goals, how you want to lead with your day or with your year or whatever. So personally, I love a good daily check-in. Every single morning, I start off with a little check-in on myself. So I always start it with, how are you? Again, it's just a moment to kind of look within and see how you are and be honest with yourself. If you are not good, tell tell the journal what's going on. Write down what's going on so it's not up here in the back of your mind all day weighing you down. I always like to better myself as well. So a big thing that I like to do is say how I can be better today than I was yesterday. If I spent most of my day in bed yesterday and I just didn't really want to do anything and I kind of pushed off my work and procrastinated a lot, maybe today in my journal I would write something about I want to get up bright and early, I really want to get this work done as soon as I can, I want to show up for myself and trust myself and get the work that I promised myself I would get done. Another one that I absolutely love is how are you going to show up for yourself and others today? I think it just gives your mind kind of a path to stay on. So that way, if you're kind of drifting to maybe an old habit or thought pattern or an old behavior, it kind of gives you the barrier lines to keep going on the path you were going. Now for weekly, I always like to look over my to-do list before I start any sort of check-in to kind of remind myself how I'm leading into this week and how I finished last week and what I can do to be better this week. And kind of the same idea as the daily, I like to reflect over my past week and kind of see where I can improve, how I could show up better for myself. And another thing that I absolutely love to do, which you can do daily as well, is a favorite part of your week, or maybe it's a favorite part of your day. Again, this is just another practice of gratitude. Now for monthly, again, it's kind of the same gist. I like to go over my month highlights and then of course like the other ones, what you want more of in the next month and what you want less of that was kind of holding you back from the month. And then I'm sure you are aware, but one of the most common ways people use their journal is just a huge emotional dump. I feel like this is the way that I really got into journaling and accustomed to writing out my feelings, but for a lot of people it can be really uncomfortable to just sit there and write whatever comes to mind. If you feel like your brain is just clouded, if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling stuck and just don't know where to go, I really recommend just set a timer for 5 minutes and just let yourself write whatever comes to mind. If you want to talk about how your day was, or if you want to talk about like something that's been holding you back, or whatever feels like it just needs to get out, let the emotions out. You do not need to keep everything held in and close to your heart. You can really let things go, and it's a great coping mechanism and not allow these feelings to internalize themselves in you, but recognize them, be aware and be okay with feeling them, and then again, let them go. Close it and let them go. So that is kind of the surface level of journaling that I recommend starting with. If you guys would like a part 2 of this, please let me know, comment, like, subscribe, so that way I know you guys like these kind of videos. Practicing the things that I mentioned, manifestation, affirmations, gratitude, getting in touch with your emotions and feelings. These are all going to better your life and better yourself. And this is almost a message to myself as well. When I get to a lower point in my life, I really have to remind myself that these practices are going to help me. And I know it can take a lot of mental and even physical energy to get to this point sometimes. Whatever little things you can do for yourself every single day to improve and better yourself and just free yourself a little more is a huge step forward. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I mentioned, if you'd like it, please make sure to give a thumbs up and subscribe down below for more lifestyle, wellness, and beauty content just like this. And I will see you guys again back here again next week with a brand new video. Bye!